Jim, a lot of listeners have sent in questions about some rumors going around about AEW's potential new 2-hour Saturday show on TNT. People are thinking that the name will be AEW Collision because AEW filed a trademark for that name.
Well, no, they filed a trademark for Collision, didn't they? Didn't they leave out the I?
Oh, you did tell me about that. I believe so, but I'm certain they probably have repaired that application by now. What are your thoughts on a potential AEW 2-hour show on Saturday? And to add a little more into this, there are other rumors going around, again, we don't know how true these are or aren't, that AEW may look at this as an opportunity to split the roster.
Oh, God.
Whether that's because they want to keep CM Punk away from other people, or whether that's because it would be a good idea to have two separate rosters, whatever their reasoning is. That's another story going around. So what are your thoughts on a new potential Saturday show? And if they did split the roster, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, they got a show on Friday that nobody watches right now, right? And it's only an hour. And all they can figure out to do with it is just put the meaningless mid-card matches that only marks want to watch to begin with. There's no star power on the program. And it gets bounced around a lot, but actually in some cases, more people watch it when it's not in its normal time slot, if it's got a good lead in of a ball game or something, than when it is in its normal slot. Now they want to add 2 hours on Saturday. So I'm not saying people won't watch a 2-hour wrestling program on Saturday. They did it in the past. The question is, what's going to be on that program? And why is it going to be different than the program that they're already doing on Friday night that nobody watches and is not in any way important to the overall scheme of things? And that's what the Friday program is doing for them right now, besides making the aggravating interludes on the Wednesday night program where Sockface will read off all the matches that we don't want to see at lightning speed. Besides that, it's either bringing their average down or making them look bad when they've got a program that allegedly from the same company featuring allegedly the same wrestlers that does less than half of what their Wednesday night program does. And I can't imagine and then they add the Battle of the Belts every once in a while to that, which went from being a quarterly special that one would think that they would be able to do some kind of showcase on to a commitment from, it appears, the network, and now it appears like it's looked at as a commitment from AEW where they just put more shit on that and nobody watches that either. So the concept of having a 2-hour program on Saturday night is not bad, but with what they're doing with their other available television time they already have, and my God, would this mean that we might actually see wrestlers that, the ones that have been popping up every 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months, whatever, every once in a while, do we see more of them? Some that would be good, some that would be bad. It's impossible to say whether it's a good idea until we decide whether or not they're actually going to try to make anybody want to watch this program and present it as something to see and as equal to Dynamite. But then, if they present something as equal to Dynamite, does that take viewers away from Dynamite? Wednesday's a better TV night than Saturday, especially with the young people that comprise most of their audience in AEW, because young people have a higher tolerance for horse shit, apparently.
As a promoter, do you prefer Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening?
Well, you're not going to have a Saturday afternoon show that does any numbers at all on cable. And of course, back in the old days, yes, on the West Coast, the 605, TBS show, all the wrestling fans wanted to get cable to watch Georgia wrestling. But if I'm a promoter that wants to run a local market, I would love to have Saturday afternoon television on a local broadcast station. I wouldn't want to have Saturday afternoon on cable, especially if I had a product that appeals to a younger audience because they're out dicking around doing whatever. And, but and as far as a brand split, let's bring that into, because both of it goes together. Who gets who in the custody fight, right? Who gets to go live with mom and who gets to go live with dad? When they're only doing 800 something thousand people now every week, regardless of what they fucking do, and if they take some of the wrestlers that are on that program and put them on Saturday night, does that mean that people will go watch Saturday in addition to, or does that mean they'll stop watching on Wednesday? Or is it a self-fulfilling prophecy that whoever you give the Saturday night slot to will do worse than whoever is on the Wednesday night, because Wednesday's a better TV night and Wednesday's been established for 3 years and they've already proven they can't launch a second program. Nobody's watching All Access. Even though they have access to it, they're not taking advantage of it. Nobody's watching Rampage. Nobody's watching Battle of the Belts. So and a brand split or a roster split for AEW right now would be ridiculous, because half of their wrestlers are play actors and friends that need to be gotten rid of to begin with. Half their roster needs to split. What they should do is focus all of their best talent on their one Wednesday night program and make their overall business as strong as possible. But if like I said, okay, let's say, for example, that the EVPs get Wednesday night, and they keep all of their friends and their play acting buddies and their aggressive parkour artists and gymnasts. But they've got the recognized, established slot, so they got the lead out of the gate. Then if you give Punk and all of the pro wrestlers, FTR, Hobbs, I mean, he wouldn't have as big a roster, but you'd have a lot better matches. But it would be on a brand new program on a night that nobody's used to watching AEW or a lot of TV anymore to begin with these days. So then, or do you flip a coin and just say, okay, winner gets Wednesday? Or do you just, I don't know, it's a crazy concept, start running your business like a business and telling your employees what they're going to do instead of asking them what they want to do?
Well, that's not going to happen, because that's not the way Tony Khan runs a company. Whether or not they do a brand split for the new Saturday show, going into a new show, another show, like you pointed out, it's not just All Access and Rampage, there's also the YouTube stuff and Ring of Honor. So it's another 2-hour show Tony's going to be in charge of. Beyond any of the issues with booking and anything else with that, do you do anything to mix it up? Do you have a completely different announce team than you would get on Wednesday or Friday? What do you do that would make Saturday different? And one of the rumors going around, and let me give him credit because I just saw this report, Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast, I guess, has indicated that Collision may debut June 17th in Chicago.
Well, right there, that indicates that they may have some plans, since the last time they debuted a new wrestling program, Rampage, it drew the highest rating not only in the history of the program, but one of the highest ratings counting all the Dynamite episodes, because that was the debut of CM Punk. But now, if they've booked that, and they were intending that, as we know, there may be a problem because of Blandon Cutlet, the junior vice president of jock sniffing and assistant jizz mopping over at EVP Central.
Somebody gets it.
Has pissed off and pissed in the pot, the coffee pot that they were having the meeting over, specifically for that reason, I would assume. If we are to believe that, that the reports are true, which we think they are, that Tony and Punk have been having talks. We're supposed to sit down and work something out. Something had been worked out, whatever. They're moving forward with the Chicago date. And then suddenly, some dipshit writes on some website a hit piece on Punk, and the EVP's ball holder retweets it specifically so that it'll piss him off and screw up the whatever arrangement may have been made between him and Tony. And Tony, of course, is gutless and won't do anything about it. So that makes sense. But the question becomes now, are they going to come to Chicago and have an attraction? Or are they going to come to Chicago and have a lawsuit because he's fed up with fucking working with children again before he even comes back?
Well, Jim, to tie this all together and come back around, any final thoughts on the potential Saturday night AEW collision?
Yeah. Do we have to watch it?
Oh, yeah. What are we going to do? I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
More of this?
I mean, if Punk's on it, that says they're making it a priority. If MJF appears on it, that tells you something because he's never on Rampage.
Well, look, you could pretty much... There would be no crossover. I'm pretty sure if you asked Maddie and Nikki to pick the wrestlers that they wanted on their program and Punk to pick the wrestlers he wanted on their program, I'm pretty sure you'd have completely diametrically opposite rosters to begin with. So immediately, if Punk and FTR were to go to Saturday night, then we could just quit watching Wednesday. And that would be just fine with me. But, as we said before, they're trying to pull one of these fucking old okey-dokes on, well, we'll just give you a show and we'll have a show and we'll see which one they watch. Well, then which one gets Wednesday and the baked-in advantage? Therein lies the fucking dogfight. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens, and of course, that was AEW talk. We'll get some questions in a moment, but Jim, I can't believe we're going to talk about this again. A lot of people are looking for ways, wherever they may be, to access the internet, wherever it may be, and for some reason, they want you to talk about this again.
Well, it's our friends. We haven't talked about them in a while, but our friends at ExpressVPN, they're back around. They're going to try this thing again because they got so many customers from the last time they ran spots on our program that they've just now caught up. Kind of like us getting the people in the door on the Cult of Cornette's Facebook group. They've just now caught up. They've caught up on servicing all of the customers that we brought them last time. So now is the time to bring them some more customers. And remember what ExpressVPN, folks, it's the easiest way to protect your privacy and privacy and security on the internet from all of these people. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I didn't tell you about this, but I had my attic spray foam insulated. They found a femur.
What?
They found a femur.
A human femur?
A femur was in the wall.
A human femur?
We think it may have been the guy from the cable company we had before Spectrum. Because he showed up one day and we turned around, he was gone. We just assumed that he had left. But folks, as we've said before...
Where's the rest of them?
Well, we ain't found that yet. It may have been the rats took him. See?
Rats?
Well, they go up and down in the walls. So, you see, folks, the thing is the internet service providers are putting spies in your wall. And that's how they know what you're getting on your computer. Your internet service providers know all of the things that you've been looking up, all the things you've been doing, where you are. They've got your information, and they're going to use it in ways that you don't want unless you do something about it. Now, I know what you're going to say to yourself. You're going to say to yourself, well, I can just waltz right down there to the cable company now with a brick in my hand and take care of this whole thing. Well, no, you can't, because they're everywhere. You knock one of them out with a brick, two more spring up inside your den wall to take their place.
That's not exactly how it works.
Well, you can't deny that they're everywhere.
I could deny that you shouldn't hit people with bricks.
Well, only if they're in your walls.
How you gonna get to them with the brick if they're in the wall?
Bust a hole. There is not one statute in American jurisprudence today that says specifically that you cannot hit a person in the head with a brick if they are in the walls of your home. Find it, I dare you.
Well, I'm not ready to research that. What do I even look for?
Well, you look for brick hitting laws. I mean, I'm just a small town bird lawyer, but I can tell you that it's never been illegal to protect your life and property if somebody's in your wall by hitting them in the head with a brick. Now, Creekstone, that was the case of Monroe versus Snavitz in 1997. A piece of Creekstone was invited. They haven't ruled on that yet, but bricks are okay. But with ExpressVPN, then you don't have to worry about a brick because they're your brick. They hit people in the head for you because they will mask your connection so it's secure, cannot be nabbed and robbed and stolen. Your data will be encrypted. They'll put it in concrete. It's like one of those old mafia movies. They'll put your data in concrete overshoes and they'll throw it off the Brooklyn Bridge and it'll be sleeping with the fishes where nobody can get to it. Encrypted in concrete. And did you know this, Brian? You can spoof your location with ExpressVPN.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, you don't know what spoof your location means? That means that you can make fun of your hometown.
I would never make fun of Last Manor, ever.
Well, that's not your hometown. That's your home place. Like Aunt Lola would say, the old home place. No, you always want to make fun of your hometown. And ExpressVPN will let you spoof your location. Every time you tell it where you are, it will give you a free joke about your particular town, whether it be Cleveland, Oshkosh.
That can't be how that works. That cannot be how that works.
It says right here you can spoof your location so you can have access to content available outside your region.
I guess that means you can spoof you could pretend that, I don't understand any of it, but I looked up brick hitting laws. Someone posted something, a man threatened to smash my head in with a brick. I was about 20 feet from him, and I pulled my shirt up to inform him I am carrying, and I will use it if he acts on his words. Is this illegal in Pennsylvania? And the questions have come in. Did he actually have a brick in his hand, or was it just words? Let me go down a little further. If you believe you were in imminent danger of being killed, I guess this is more about the guns than the bricks. This is
it's more about the gun than the brick, because, well, the thing is, you never throw rocks at a man carrying a machine gun, but in this case, he should have thrown the brick quicker before the guy, while he was busy pulling his shirt up and his hands were full, he could have beamed him in the head with the brick and then taken the gun and then shot the guy. Because this is America. You ought to have an equal right to shoot people, whether or not they are carrying bricks.
What?
But nevertheless.
What?
Back to ExpressVPN.
I don't even understand what you just said.
Well, it's not my fault. I said it clearly.
It's explicitly your fault.
ExpressVPN is blazing fast. You know, a lot of these VPNs, Brian, they slow your connection down to the point where it's not even worth it to connect the connection.
Oh, no.
But ExpressVPN doesn't lag or buffer. Whether it be Michael Buffer, whether it be, what was his brother's name? Edward Buffer?
Bruce Buffer, not
Bruce Buffer.
Edward Buffer.
Edward Buffer, he was the one that he didn't make it. It was Danny, Bill, and Ed. Ed didn't make it. He became a veterinarian. Nevertheless, ExpressVPN, you won't even realize you have it on. That's what it says once you connect here. You know, it's no maintenance. It's no worry. You don't even, soon you'll not even think about it. And then slowly, it will creep into your everyday life. You won't know it's on, but it will take over everything.
No, that's not how it works.
And then one day,
no,
you'll suddenly realize that ExpressVPN has gained its own intelligence.
No.
But right now,
no,
it won't slow your computer down.
That's
and
true.
You won't even know it's on. You'll never know it's happening until it's too late. And your connection is secure. Your data is encrypted. You're spoofing your location. You've got content available outside your region. I like content that's outside my nether regions. It's been called the best VPN by CNET. And it's been called ExpressVPN by CORNETTE. And right now, Go to expressvpn.com/JCE and you'll get 3 months of whatever the fuck it is that they do for you absolutely free. expressvpn.com/JCE, 3 months extra of ExpressVPN with the spoofing and the encrypting and the lagging and buffering. Or no, the no lagging and no buffering. Well, I ought to get this because right now I'm lagging and buffering. If I'm lagging and buffering right now and I get the ExpressVPN, will I quit lagging and buffering?
I don't know.
And what about? And let me ask you this: what is better, Excedrin or buffering?
For a headache?
Yeah, because the buffering's giving me a headache, but the Excedrin takes it away.
I would go with the Excedrin.
Buffering used to be the best.
What happened?
Started giving me a headache. ExpressVPN, you remember that buffering? Do they even sell that anymore? Buffering? It was buffered aspirin. Buffered used to be a good thing. Now it's a bad thing. Remember the AIDS diet pills?
Yes, right before AIDS.
AIDS.
I do remember seeing that, yes.
Aunt Lola used to take those. And the fucking slogan was lose weight now with AIDS. It didn't work. Well, it worked, but it didn't last.
Once again, ExpressVPN, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, they're the ones we were talking about. ExpressVPN.com/JCE. 3 months of this hilarity for free. You'll be spoofing yourself all night long. Go out there and spoof your location. Or spunk it. I don't know.
Spoof it with ExpressVPN.
What would you do? What would it be if you spunked your location?
I'm going to leave this one to you. You seem like the expert on this.
Well, I'm not. Now your mind's in the gutter. Spunk. You know what spunk is? It's guts. It's courage. It's spunkiness. Terry Runnels didn't know what it was, but otherwise, and I told you that, didn't I?
You did tell me that, yeah.
Well, then I won't tell you again. Everybody else will just wonder. She was mad when JR and I said she was full of spunk. She thought it had another meaning.
She said, who told you?
Hey, goddamn. All right, it was dripping.
ExpressVPN. Oh, jeez, it was. You had to end with that.
Dripping out of her. She was so full of it.
Well, you won't have to worry about your internet service dripping with ExpressVPN.
Yeah.
What's the promo code?
Shady Rays.
No. ExpressVPN.
Yes, it is. Hold on. I'm looking for it now. It's It's expressvpn.com/JCE. It's where you need to go to protect yourself from the outside forces in the world today that could harm you and bring your empire crashing down around your ears. And you can stream in HD with no issues.
Once again, expressvpn.com/JCE to get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN.
Just open the app, click one button, and enjoy instant protection across all your devices. I wish it only took me 1 second to protect all my devices. Sometimes it takes a while to get that thing on.
Oh, you are reading the copy. I don't even know sometimes if you're just going off on your own thing or if you're reading the copy. But once again, expressvpn.com/JCE.